What's good, Outlaws? It's your boy, the Truth 777. Look. We got some news going on in these gaming streets, right? And I was going to keep coming out with videos, but then things kept happening. And I was like, well, let's just give it to like Saturday, and then we'll go ahead and make a video because I'm not doing it on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I got to watch my Commanders play. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get to the first thing I want to get to. Look, I already said I didn't want remasters and remakes in the state of play, which I knew I was getting Horizon Zero Dawn in a state of play, and I knew that sucked for me. Not that it was remastered, but that it's going to be in a state of play. When there's just something you should just announce. That's how I feel. All the remasters. I don't care if it's Bloodborne. Just announce it. People are going to lose their mind. It doesn't need to be in a state of play. If you just said Bloodborne remaster, people are going to go and act like they played it and they loved it, whatever, right? But I don't want that in a state of place. I'm sorry. That's just me, right? But we're getting another one. We're going to get another one. It's most likely going to be Days Gone. I do believe it's Days Gone. So, boom, there you go. So that takes up 4 slots out of something that's probably going to be like a 15 game state of play, if that. You know what I'm saying? We get a 20 game state of play. I don't know what they're going to show, especially since the people are kind of alluding to the fact that it won't be first party. So, yeah, that sucks. So you got Death Stranding 2, you're going to have Silent Hill and 2 remasters, and probably like a 15 game state of play. And then, people are going to be talking about how this December showcase is supposed to be this, magnum opus of a not even a showcase, but state of play. And I'm pretty sure that Sony is moving away from showcases. I don't know. I don't have no, insiders, but I'm pretty sure they're moving away from showcases. I think in that state of plays will be for the future, how they go about it. They're copying Nintendo. They see that this is beneficial, especially since you're not going to show games 5 to 6 years out. So 3 to 18 months, with a few games, you show. They're probably going to, take the state of play and just put 30 games in it, like they do a showcase, right? And just call it a state of play. And then if you do that, like I said, most of the games is going to be, 3 to 18 months out. And then maybe like 5 or 6 games that's like, supposed to come out and then get pushed back a year or two. And then 1 or 2 games that are like the ones like Wolverine, where it's like 4 or 5 years out. And that sucks. And you can tell by my energy. I'm so over it, right? But on the other hand, though, right, we have old Herman Host over there. And man, is that guy making mistakes along with Jim Ryan, right? Jim Ryan is like, hey, I came to kill the company, eh? So I'm just messing around. But yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Jim Ryan definitely got fired. We all know that now. Concord was a massive failure in a money sinkhole. Factions was a didn't even get to be a massive failure. Probably would have been a success. It still was a massive sinkhole. They overpaid for Bungie. While that is the bad part, I do think they'll be fine. Now that Sony has now got full control of Bungie and Bungie isn't independent anymore and they got their execs in there, Bungie still makes great games. Destiny is still a good game. It's just that their execs suck. So now with new execs and new leadership and different people in place, they'll be able to. They already kind of started to bring Destiny back around. So it's seeming like they're about to do a lot of things that Destiny fans are going to enjoy. I think they're going to get Marathon on the right path and get that out, and that's going to do really good for the Bungie team to bring back a lot of happiness and security for the Bungie employees. Again, I don't really care who gets fired or what. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But regardless, at least the team will be happy and they'll make better games. I think it'll allow them to hire more, and get their studio to as big as it was or bigger, and then they'll be able to have a couple other teams that do smaller games because I think what Astro by Sony is we'll see and go, okay, yeah, we can still do the smaller games. And I think they'll see it as beneficial because it can be a gap filler. So that you don't have to do so many second and third party deals, right? Now Microsoft isn't dead. I always say this, until they stop making consoles, they are not dead. So, Sony, can't lay on their laurels just because Microsoft decided at this current juncture that they don't want to fight back. They didn't say they would stop fighting. They just made a treaty with you, and they can break that treaty at any time. So, yeah, that's that. State of play, seeming like we're gonna have 4 games already. We already know what's gonna be in it. Probably, I don't know, but I'm guessing about 15 games. Supposed to have to wait till December for some massive, state of play that's supposed to like finally be like, there you go, there's all the bangers and all that other bull. And yeah, Jim Ryan got fired. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he didn't do terrible at everything. All the third party and second party exclusive games that he bought, were dope, Kenna, all that stuff. So kudos on that part. Keeping things under wrap with Sony, with PlayStation, with all the announcements and stuff. Even when they have stuff, they keep it pretty much under wraps, which is till it's about time for it to be revealed. So I think they do a good job with that. He sucked at talking to the fan base. We don't need you to be Phil Spencer at Xbox, but you could at least speak to the fan base. But they ain't with that, you know what I'm saying? And Nintendo ain't with it, and just where they feel like they just don't have to say nothing. So if you don't want to say nothing, then you got to produce something. They're not doing that. So Sony put themselves in a rot, in a hole. And I want to thank Microsoft in this video too, right? So these people that think here him seeing this video, like, I thought you was a Sony fan. Look, I'm not on no fanboy stuff. Told you. For the crumb siders, you're gonna be upset with a lot of my videos because I'm not crumb signing it. Like every once in a while, I might make a fun console war video about the last remaining bits of console war, but I'm not really here to make console war content. But Microsoft, while not fighting back at this current juncture, did light a fire under PlayStation's ass with buying Activision and Blizzard, and scared them to death. It scared them to death. And Jim Ryan not being a gamer and then having Homer Host as his main guy was not the answer, because Homer Host only has one good gaming franchise, Killzone, ain't it? And Horizon is my favorite gaming franchise, and he obviously does not understand gaming because he's milking the hell out of his own franchises. I mean, his own friend, the one good franchise he got, and that shit's stupid, and that it's annoying, right? Because you can tell while he understands graphic fidelity and technical prowess, his studio has that down pat. And while I love Horizon's gameplay, it's not like they made a bunch of games. Like they made games before they was with Sony, but again, nobody was checking for those games either. So, you finally got one good franchise, and then you let it go to your head, and now you're milking it to death. Like you got this multiplayer game coming out that nobody's going to care about. I can assure you that. I know, I love Horizon, but nobody's going to care about this game. That's going to be another Concord. The Horizon Lego game may be okay. Just Nintendo fans may save it because you definitely gonna have to rely on the Nintendo fans for that. And I guarantee you, if it don't pop off on Nintendo, they will make it for the PlayStation 4. You best to believe. All of a sudden, it'll be on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, I don't think Herman Host was a good hire. And getting rid of Shuhei was not smart. It wasn't. Shuhei just knows games. He may not get you the best profit margins, but he's the part of the reason why PlayStation is what PlayStation is with like the choice of games and all that. But I don't know, man. PlayStation is in a whirlwind of WTF. Like I said, Jim panicked. He bought Fire Sprite, I guess, because Herman told him it was worth it. Don't know why. And I believe Colin when he says that Concord's $400 million, but I don't believe it's $400 million. I think it was around about that, because I think Sony either paid the $200 million that the company that they bought Firewalk from that money back, or they paid like $100 million and then put $200 million in there or whatever. So yeah, Sony is definitely. At first, I didn't think they were arrogant, but they're definitely in their arrogant phase, and they're feeling like because they're selling and they're doing well, that they don't have to press to do anything, and it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire huge, and I'm okay with that. I love when Sony get kicked in the nuts. Real talk. I love it when they get kicked. I'm talking about multiple times as hard as possible to where they realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't be in this fight, and maybe I should get my shit together, because they definitely don't have it together. And it's showing. Now, I will say this. I do think while they overpaid for Bungie, I do think Bungie will come around, and that will be one of their biggest assets. They still make great games. Don't get it twisted. It's just that their execs were trash. And now that Sony's taking over the company, they're not indie anymore, and Sony has got their execs in, and still letting them do what they do, but just making them focus. Bungie will be fine. I think Marathon will be a big game for Sony for sure. That'll be one of the big live service games. I think Destiny 2 will still stay in focus and be a big live service game, and they'll bring that back into prominence. I mean, it's not out of prominence, but it'll get back to the highest prominence that it was. They'll simplify it, make it easier for people to get in the game and not be all convoluted the way it was on Steam. It was super stupid convoluted. And so I do think that Sony will benefit 100% from Bungie because they're still talented. They make great games. So they have never, I don't know them to make a lot of bad games. They make more good games. All I really know them for is Halo and Destiny, but those all did well, right? Firewalk, they either let them make another game, but they're seeming like they're not the greatest studio, but we'll see, man. Like, get some new leadership in there, let some of the people, argue back and forth on what's a good game or not and thing. And if not, then the support studio, like, with the XDev, and continue to make the XDev team big, and you got that. I'm not hating on J. Ramian Studio or none of the other live service games. I don't really care how people feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that J. Ramian games could be fire too. I hope it's fire. Not because I want Sony to do live service games, but just because, you know what I'm saying? Why would I want to hate on a game I don't know nothing about, right? So, there's that. And so then we get to the anniversary, and Sony's been kind of in this hit miss phase where Concord was the biggest miss they've ever had, is the biggest joke of the generation, to Astrobot, the biggest, most hyped platformer, to $700 Pro, to now we got an anniversary Pro. So people are like, I want the $700 Pro, which is hilarious. And they're definitely thinking. I think it's gonna be the same thing. I think for some reason, I got a feeling it's going to be like State of Play for Tokyo, Japan was like, okay. But people going to hate it because it was just okay. And everybody is in agreement, from Xbox to PlayStation, Nintendo to a PC, that Sony needs to show the goods. Everybody's in agreement. There's only a few PlayStation fans and fanboys that are like, no, we're good. No, they need to show the goods. I think mostly everybody's in agreement with that. Everybody's tired of being patient. So, I hope this December show is something special, because, boy, if it's not, Sony going down in flames. But like I said, they're never going to be in too much trouble, because Xbox has got the peace treaty going right now. So, like I said, until Xbox decides not to make consoles, for me, Xbox is not out of the war. They're not. They might be at peace, not wanting the battle right now, but they're not out the war. Let's talk about this. Okay, we got to understand Jim Ryan's fired, and I'm being very honest that Sony is not looking too good. If they show fire games, nobody will care. I promise you. All this other stuff would be irrelevant if they show fire games from the first party studios. But they haven't done that, and until they do that, who knows? But I do want to say this, though. There is this thing going around because these remasters and remakes, people thinking that Sony lost their spark. I definitely beg to differ on that. I think they're studios that know what they're doing are going to do what they do. Naughty Dog's going to be fine. Santa Monica's going to be fine. It may, I even think the team that do Returnal, they're fine. The studios that do what they do, I'm not going to have issues. The J. Raymond Studios, which you don't know if that game is going to pop off. It's what you're going to do with the Firewalk. It's getting Destiny together. That's not going to be a problem, because Destiny, they make good games. So once they gather themselves, and they'll be fine. Who knows what this Gummy Bears project is going to be. I think that, I think, again, it's made by a Bungie people, so I think it'll be fine. If not, great. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's kitty, whatever it is, colorful. They do their thing. So, Herman Host doesn't really have to do much. You know what I'm saying? Just stay out of people's way. So I think they'll be fine. You know what I mean? People that's trying to act like Sony has not done a good job this generation, please stop it. Do your fanboy thing if that's what you're doing, if you're in the crumb side, but I'm just saying anybody else. Ain't nobody else listening to you with your bullshit. This is what it is. It's BS, yo. I'm just telling you right now. If you think that if you are out here trying to act like Sony isn't providing games, they are. Third party, second party, and even first party. Whether you like them or don't like them, they're providing them. And they're providing a good bit of variety from their first party as well. I've already did this in the video where I explained and I gave you the type of games, the style of games, the amount of games, things of that nature. They're doing a good job as far as that. But they just haven't done anything exciting and that will hype you up. And that's just what it is. I'm glad Microsoft got Activision Blizzard, but definitely Bethesda. I always thought Bethesda was like Insomniac for Sony. That's how I felt. I thought Bethesda was like an Insomniac buy for Sony. So Activision Blizzard was like Sony buying Firewalk and some others, and it's not panning out too well just yet. So I don't know, man. That's just really all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm not really doing too much of a fanboy stuff. I might do a video here and there on some fanboy stuff, but I'm just trying to speak what I care about PlayStation and gaming. I think when they hit in December, I'm just not holding my breath because Sony's just so damn tight-lipped about nothing. Fucking talk to your fan base, Sony. It's okay. We get it. You got a peace treaty. You got free reign to kind of do what the fuck you want right now, but doesn't mean you could just say F us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't Microsoft, and you say F us, and you will die. PlayStation will die, factually. You do not have Xbox. You do not have Microsoft money that can keep Xbox afloat, even though it's on its deathbed. You know what I mean? Like, if Microsoft was if Xbox was with any other company at this juncture, Xbox would have been gone during the 360. Would have been gone with the Xbox One. Would have been gone now, and that Game Pass shit would be the way to dodo bird. But they're not. They gotta. While they on a tight budget, they still have a budget because of their parent company. You know what I mean? PlayStation's parent company does not hit on all cylinders like that. They're doing a lot better now, but they're not the powerhouse that Microsoft is. So keep playing around, and you will find out Sony get hit in the head again, just like you did with the PlayStation 3, which almost killed the PlayStation back then. So it is what it is. But hopefully you'll come back around, and I'll be finally hyped up, for some games that just can't be competed with outside of Grand Theft Auto or Take-Two. But that's all I really wanted to say, man. I wanted to give my little 2 cents on everything that was going on. It's your boy, The Truth, and I'm out.